fact, like Morris.
No more room in hell. The dead walk here.
Welcome and welcome to 3 Quarters of Horror Live. We are going to be talking vampires. I am not going to be doing that accent for too long. I practiced for a little while there. What's going on, guys? Joe the Psychologist here. And as I said, tonight we're going to be discussing vampires. But let me introduce you to my panel here. First up, Radar, welcome back. You got your notes ready, buddy?
You know what? I should have taken notes throughout the week, and I just did not. So winging it tonight.
That's all good. That's all good. Next up, Junior, the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, bro? You ready for this one?
Hey, he said the same thing. Talking vampires, so why not just wing it?
All right, now. Rick, what's up with you? You ready for this one? You ready to sink your fangs in?
We all cheer for big bottles of beer. Enough said.
Wait, listen. Ooh.
3 quarters going hard tonight, y'all.
It's just beer. Well, I did have a shot, but not too hard. We waited for this. All right, guys. So welcome. As I said, we're going to be talking about vampires. We've had some releases that have come out. We've got some that are up and coming. Some of us have very fond memories of vampire horror movies. They haven't been that good since, but you know, there could be some that are going to slide in there in between. However, you know, the one trend that has kind of been following, and I'm not even going to count Twilight here, so that's not even a part of this, but is that vampire Dracula themed movies just aren't doing the numbers that, you know, you got when you had the comeback of Michael Myers, of Leatherface. I mean, they brought viewers in. And just recently, we had 2. I'm going to admit, I didn't see one of them. The other one I did see. You know, a little shameless plug. Rick and I reviewed Renfield, so I'm going to bring that one up. But I want to know from you guys, why you think that Renfield and the Last Voyage of the Demeter bombed. I mean, one of them had 2 top stars in there. So I'm going to go with JR first. JR.
Let me take a shot before I answer the question.
Ooh.
I'll take a sip for you.
Before you get into that, I got Lexi. What up, Lexi? So excited for this one.
Hey,
Cheers
Lex.
for you. We got our brother P Rockzilla. Dale.
Dale.
What up, son? What up? And of course, Angel, voices
Woo!
from the Mausoleum.
Go,
Angel.
go.
Hope you're feeling
Hope you're
better.
feeling
Angel.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sip.
And
there.
P Rock with Nick Cage. I guess
Cage.
who doesn't like Nick Cage?
Tell you, taking the shot is like drinking holy water. All right, so
Not for Joe.
I think the problem with those 2 movies was this. When we talk about comedies, vampire comedies have never been the greatest at all. If we go back to this, what's the best vampire comedy? I'll just say Joel probably mentioned it later on, but I'm not going to mention it. But that's as far long it's been since we had a good vampire comedy film. It's not a knock on Nick Cage. It's just horror comedy is hard. Vampire horror comedy is just, they've tried so many times. It's constantly fell flat and failed. And it's just one of those things that maybe just stop making comedies based upon vampires. As far as, for me, The Last Voyage goes, technically it's a prequel to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Well, it's one of the chapters in the book.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, prequels are another thing that are amiss. Now, we already know the boat comes around, everybody's on the boat, so we already know what's happened before the boat arrives. So right off the bat, you kind of lose interest in, but then when you start hearing the reviews about it, and I like slow burns. Apparently, this slow burn went straight to the heart because everybody that watched it said this movie was dead slow. Then we finally seen the vampire. One of Rick's biggest criticisms when it comes to even vampires, CGI. Do not CGI freaking vampires. And they did it, and people were pissed about it. But for me, you cannot, if you're going to have a long, slow burn, a la Bram Stoker's Dracula with the great Gary Oldman, with Keanu Reeves, that's okay as far as slow burn. But yeah, you cannot do a slow burn anymore, especially when it comes to prequel, which really knows what happens before the ship arrives.
Well, I mean, and if you're gonna have a slow burn, I would probably say I didn't see it, Demeter, but on a slow burn, you got to put a couple of good deaths in between there, because if it's just all slow burn. So if anybody saw Voyage of Demeter, you guys can comment and let us know what you thought. I'm gonna go next to Rick because I know he saw Renfield. So, Rick, why do you think that both these movies bombed in the theater?
Hollywood has like this strange obsession where like releasing horror films during the summer. That don't work. That don't work for me, you know. And these films, both of them, Renfield and Demeter, they got a twist in them where modern audiences just don't care enough for them, as much as we love them, you know. And just like Nick Cage has this stigmata where for modern audiences, once again, they see him as like a B movie actor now, more of a cult favorite. Not really much box office, you know. Yeah, we love him, but how much of a percentage of that equals to box office money, you know?
Isn't he an Oscar winner?
Yeah, but we're talking 2023. Like, how about all the movies he's been in since? They're all made for video.
Yeah.
They're all on demand. They're all none of them were like probably 70% of them were not even theatrical releases at this point.
Yeah,
and especially with after COVID, the cinemas definitely took a hit. So we still don't have that audience fully back yet to the cinema. To release all these movies now, during this period where movies like Barbie is dominating the box office, it's hard. It's very hard and it doesn't translate well to the actual paying customer when you got again someone like Nick Cage, which wasn't even honestly promoted thoroughly as Nick Cage movie. Nicholas Hoult in it, and Awkwafina, who's coming up as a known actress, and it just wasn't enough for it. And I think the movie had a bit of an identity crisis. A lot of people don't understand what it is unless you watch it. Is it a comedy? Is it an action movie? Is it horror? Like we just don't know. And as far as Demeter, you mentioned how many people that went to go see it, as far as a casual audience, even knew it was a page, a chapter out of Bram Stoker's book. I bet you most people don't even realize it's a film about Dracula. His name is not even in the title at all. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. For someone like me who don't watch trailers, I wouldn't know that if I don't do any research or nothing like that, you know? And then, again, that movie has like no star power in that movie whatsoever. So
I think John Boyega is the only name that I think I know.
No, that's no, it's not John Boyega, is it?
Oh wait,
I think it's a guy from Walking Dead. Heath.
Is it?
Well, there's someone from Game of Thrones in there, right?
He took over Kiefer Sutherland's role in like 24. I forgot his name. Corey Hawkins, I think, right? Is that his?
Corey Hawkins, yeah. Oh yeah, he was on 24. He was not that good.
So again, it goes back to that. So don't release a horror film in the damn summer.
Liam Cunningham, Radar, is the guy from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. He was also Radar. What else was he from? What horror film? Come on, man.
Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Dog Soldiers.
Oh, thank you. Gosh dang it.
One thing too, just to let you guys know, and I just found out that this recently, is whenever a movie is dropped in August is viewed as the garbage month of the year when it comes to films. Last Demeter dropped August 11th.
They're on vacation.
That's what it is. It's everybody's on their last minute vacation. Instead of going in June and July, everybody waits for August. Everybody's out and about. School's about to start, so that's why you have the summer fun flicks, which is why Barbie's doing so well. I mean, anyway, I was gonna say about the Black Demon. Like, I need escapism, so Barbie is a perfect example of escapism. But you can also get that in comedy horror. And Radar, you go next before I keep wrapping on.
So I won't lie, you guys got me at a disadvantage because I am super late at seeing any horror movie, like any new one. I'm an old school guy, so I've seen a buttload of like old school horror, so I haven't seen either of these movies. But as someone looking on the outside looking in, I can tell you that vampires are just done to death. I think that's a huge reason why a lot of people just didn't go to either one, is because you can only do so much with vampires. They're like the least interesting monster, and at least with zombies, you got most of the duality of, is man the real monster comes into the frame. But with vampires, it's just like they're either sexy or they they're like just suck your blood and shit. That's it. There's no in between. So, I mean, and after you go through, like, The Lost Boys came out in the 80s, Near Dark, there was a great boom in the 80s of it, but name the last great vampire flick of, like, any time.
I'm sure when we get to the end, all of ours are going to be in 80s, maybe a 90s movie. I highly doubt it.
90s, I'll say right now, I'll throw this bone out there. In the 90s, probably an Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Vampire and most likely John Carpenter's Vampires.
Oh, no, I did not like that film.
I like
Oh,
that.
really? But John Carpenter's Vampires, that came out over 25 years ago. So
Yeah.
When did
for a Carpenter film though, it's on the low end of it's not terrible, but it's on the low end for me.
Low end. Yeah, I mean,
as far as Carpenter is concerned. Yeah.
When
it's
did
to say it's fine.
Dust Till Dawn come out? Was that the 2000s?
That's the 90s. That's the
No, 90s, yes.
I like that one. That's another
Yeah, 97 or so. So I mean,
All right, let's save all these
Anyway.
now. I just said one
All right,
film.
no, I know.
let's move
But
on now.
Hold on,
But, I
before
mean-
we go, Joe, hold on. Let's catch up here. I love Renfield for Cage. See, Lexi knows Cage. Come on, man.
I mean,
Got my earbud. Got it. Oh, she's working. She's hooking up
Whispering
patients.
in your
Watching us.
Oh dang.
Playing your
Just-
vampire
just
tonight.
Just tell them some sweet somethings.
Yeah.
No.
yeah,
No.
no.
That's what ruined vampires.
That kind of
That's what
yeah. That was the decline for them. I mean, look, I thoroughly enjoyed Renfield. But
As did I.
it was about the Renfield character. So Dracula was the second character in the movie.
Another good point, Joe. How many of the modern audience, a casual audience, even know who Renfield is?
They don't. I mean, he was Dracula's familiar.
Yeah, so how many fans know what a familiar is?
A familiar is the person that the vampire gets to go get their, human sacrifices, or not even sacrifice, just bring the humans home, and then you basically get immortality. And in here, after Renfield ate spiders, he was able to get super strong. The action was fun. Like, the movie had lots of gore, like fun gore. I enjoyed it. I think I
The
watched
Mortal Kombat film come to life.
pretty much.
Or Mortal Kombat game, right?
Fatality. There was a lot of fatalities in that one. The meter, Rick, you brought up a valid point. Probably like if they promoted it as like an origin story of Dracula and letting people know Dracula in itself.
They did not.
And they
at
didn't.
all.
It was like, like I'm kind of like, well, why do I care about a boat? Did this boat go down like the Titanic? Like, was there, what but here's the thing. I knew that it was from the book. That comment is someone who didn't read the book and didn't know that would have gone, well, why do I care about a boat named Demeter? If they would have said this is a Dracula movie, a Dracula origin, how it would have probably, but as Rick also said, releasing them in the summer, it's hard to for me myself, I prefer my horror movies during the winter and the fall. I mean, it's the moments it's when you're in your house, well, not in Florida. Well, yeah, it gets hot, so you stay indoors because it's hot, not cold like you guys. That's the only opposite. But it just the release time was bad. I honestly, I was just a little bit surprised how bad Renfield did do. I thought it would have, been kind of not. It wouldn't have been.
Demeter did worse, didn't it?
Demeter did worse. Demeter did worse. But I mean, you also you had Nick Cage and Nicholas Hoult and Awkwafina, as you said. So there was a little star power to bring you in. But as you guys also brought up, unfortunately, Nick Cage has been doing so many roles. He's like the Eric Roberts. You guys know who Eric Roberts is,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
That's who he's becoming. He's becoming Eric Roberts for like our generation.
But the problem too is Renfield was one of those films that they would have benefited. Me and Rick talk about this a lot. Is if you're gonna throw a trailer, try to avoid showing the villain. I mean, Nick Cage is in the movie, but if they did the whole trailer basically more on the Renfield character, knowing that Nicolas Cage is in the background somewhere, people that probably went to watch it. For me, I'll be honest, I had no interest in watching the movie because one, it was a comedy thing, and two, the Renfield Dracula storyline has been done to a pulp that there's been different versions of the Renfield Dracula, dynamic relationship, and I had no interest in the film. It's not a knock on Nick Cage. I love his B movies. I do. I do like his B movies. He has good B movies, but he doesn't have that pull he had before, and that's I think the issue. Is I brought it up too. And you guys, he's considered a B movie actor. He doesn't have that pull to bring in an audience anymore because we're expecting to see him on Shudder or Amazon Prime dropping a film. Like I still haven't seen. Was it Piggy, the pig movie he's in, which I heard is amazing.
Oh
but,
yeah.
His films are good too. Like,
but he doesn't have that star power in the movie theaters. He has the star power when it comes to the streaming services.
Yeah.
And for me, I had no interest
or video.
Yeah.
How bad did Renfield do? I didn't even realize it had bombed until you guys brought it up. So
I don't
got the numbers in front of me.
I don't honestly. I don't think it even cracked the top 3 when it came out the weekend.
Put it this way: I don't think it made his money back. Put it that way.
yeah. Oh.
Give me 1 second. I got a cough. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't think it made his money back. And then, of course, like we mentioned, the Vita did worse.
It was his budget was $65 million.
Thank you, Gia. Thank
and
you.
only made $26 million back.
Oh God! Oh no!
Yeah.
That's not a
That thing's deader than Dracula.
That's a flop.
But the crazy thing, it did get a lot of views when it dropped on I think it was Peacock who has it, right?
Yeah, because
People were not go to the movies.
No one's
to
gonna
watch
go
it.
see it,
Watch
yeah.
it.
No, I know, but once it dropped, it did get a lot of views. So it did get its views, and
people like the film. People who've seen it,
they do.
But
you guys should check it out. It is pretty fun. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
I mean, Radar like.
Turn off and say something.
We're like.
No, I will watch it eventually. It's on my list.
there's been some. I would argue. I would debate that.
There's
Is Lexi talking about the original Nosferatu?
Yeah, I know. Right?
That is a classic, though.
So in between all that movies, there's been plenty.
It's old, but the way the actor, I can't remember his name right now. He did do a pretty creepy role and was one of those method acting things.
Awesome film. Like,
that drove the guy a little bit.
Atmosphere. You don't even need dialogue.
Max Shrek or
something. Yeah, I think.
My man.
I think that's his name.
yeah,
All
Max
right,
Shrek,
so
the original.
to move on to the next one, I'm going to admit that both of these that I'm going to mention, I'm looking forward to. And I will probably at least guarantee to be seeing one of them in the theater. The thing I'm also worried about here, as you guys said, is vampire movies are being done to death. They're being done wrong. We've got 2 that are coming out, one based on a Stephen King and Eggers. I can't remember his first name, but Eggers is the director.
Is it John Eggers?
No, Eggers.
Who?
Eggers.
Oh, you told the director.
The director of the other movie.
Yeah, that's Roger.
Oh, is it Roger Eggers? Okay.
Yeah, Roger. He did The Witch.
Is it right?
Yeah, Robert Eggers.
Robert.
Sorry, that was close.
I thought you said Robert.
I said Roger. Joe, you're muted.
Oh,
Get Joe. He's all animated too.
look at this scrub muting himself.
He can't. He's having trouble muting it. Look. He's having trouble unmuting.
All right. What the fuck was that? And I was talking,
He was like-
and I'm like, all right. How did that mute though? That was weird. I was talking before, wasn't I? Or was I just moving around? You guys weren't
He
hearing.
probably just hit the button by accident.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But when I put the phone down. Anyway, there's 2 movies that are coming out. One, I've read the Stephen King book. I mean, it's Salem's Lot. I remember the old 80s one. It's still up there as one of my favorite vampire ones. So Salem's Lot has some big shoes to fill when it comes out, and we all know just how hard it is to translate a Stephen King book into a movie. And then you have Robert Eggers doing Nosferatu with Aaron. He's going to play Craven the Hunter.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
And unfortunately, Nicholas Hoult Nicholas Hoult is in Nosferatu. When I read that, I went, "Oh no," because we got the menu. Now we got Renfield. I'm feeling like Nicholas might
Oh,
be.
the menu was awesome.
The menu
Hey,
was
the menu's
awesome,
great.
but people didn't go see it either.
Oh, damn it.
It was another one of those. So so like
He's not a
for me,
leading man.
he hasn't gotten there yet.
Hasn't gotten
He's
there.
almost.
You forgot the rest
there.
of the cast though on that.
Hold on, we didn't get the.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I got it over.
It's competing. Who am I going to go to first?
That's what I hate about you, Joe. Just give us a damn list who goes first.
No, it keeps it more fun. It keeps people on their
No,
toes.
it's not, because what happens is we all got the same answers, and we're all right, who's gonna
all
say it
good.
first? Who's gonna say it
Yeah,
first?
and that's the fun part. I'm gonna go
No,
with
it's
you,
not,
Rick.
because then poor GR wants to make a point, but now we got to shut him down.
No.
I'm gonna cool background.
This guy,
You
guy,
could- you-
guy, go.
go- Oh my God, Rick, go.
No, go ahead. You were
I
talking.
did. No, I was done. I said Rick.
Oh.
So are you worried that these movies are not going to do well when they come out?
Half and half. I think Nosferatu will do well. It's got Skarsgård. He has a big following. I mean, it was a big hit, right? I don't think Nosferatu is not as known probably in the mainstream compared to like Pennywise, but I think with Robert Eggers backing it, he does have a following. His audience follows his films. I'm not sure how well the Viking movie did. What was that one he did?
The
The
Northman.
Northman. So
But-
the Northman
Pretty good.
was that it was. I haven't seen it yet.
It's
I think
not
the
a horror
critique, but
film, but it was
too long.
really long. So
Yeah.
but again, yes, you like JR was gonna mention it. Willem Dafoe is in that film as well. Is it Johnny Depp's daughter in it?
Yep.
Lily Rose
Lily
Depp?
Rose-
He's in it. That Rose Depp.
Who else, JR? I mean,
Well, and
I don't got the
Anya
list.
Taylor-Joy, my girl.
Oh,
Okay, there you go.
there you go. See, so
Well, and that's the thing. But both Eggers worked with Defoe on The Lighthouse and Anna on The Witch.
yes. So
So he knows who he's bringing in and who did their
I was
job.
gonna say those are regulars in most of his films now.
Yeah. So I mean, but he's bringing in the ones that delivered the jobs in those movies
Right.
because I actually enjoyed The Lighthouse. It's long, it's drawn out, but you
That's all
watch it
his
like
movies. All
That's
his
what I
movies.
fear.
Yeah.
I was gonna get to that. That's what I fear because his movies, like The Witch, as well,
Yes.
long films.
thank you. Go ahead.
Nosferatu is not a film that has to be drawn out over 2.5, 3 hours. I hope he doesn't deliver a film like The Northman, where you got to take time out of your schedule to go to the theater. That's another thing. To movies like that are super long, nobody wants to go to the theater to see movies like that right now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's fair.
saying? It's not like how it used to be, especially with how I think Radar mentioned it or GR. People are so accustomed now to stay home and stream everything.
It's more comfortable.
Absolutely. Like
can
my
pause it
last
watch
Oh,
30 minutes of trailers.
my last 2 theater experiences were fucking horrible because there's always these rude teenagers in the
Yep.
fucking audience. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is why I'd rather be home drinking a beer, watching my movies. Because you come here, you're trying to watch it. I mean, I watched Into the Spider-Verse and a fight almost broke out like 2 rows behind me. It's like, it's
Oh,
crazy.
jeez.
It's like, so I think he needs to cut the time down. We don't need a 3-hour marathon of Nosferatu. But again, the cast is great. He has a built-in audience that are loyal.
Yes.
This is not A24, I don't think, but that crowd follows, Eggers as well, and that's a big cult following right there. As far as Salem's Lot is concerned, I think that one's, depending when they release it, that's gonna have a lot of trouble, in my opinion. I looked at the cast, no marquee names in that one.
No big marquee names. So
Mm-mm.
you're going to be counting on the Stephen King people
Yeah.
wanting to see it, So all right. JR, go ahead. I'm gonna go because I'm pretty sure there was a couple things you
No, I agree. I think the thing with Nosferatu is you have Bill Skarsgård has star power. I mean, that guy is just amazing in everything he does. I don't think he's had one bad role. Whether it's playing Pennywise the clown, whether it's playing that character, I forgot his name in freaking Deadpool.
Oh my God! He spit out the acid. Shit.
Yeah, he has a following. He's such a great actor that you want him to. And
He was also the villain in Eternals, which
Yes.
nobody knows that.
yes,
He's in Barbarian too.
He's in Barbarian as well.
Good
Yep,
shout.
yep.
And remember, he has The Crow coming out sometime too. So he right now he has this team that's building. He is, and for us horror fans, we kind of hope he stays in the horror genre because he does so good with it. I don't know if you ever seen Castle Rock. He's amazing in Castle Rock as well.
Yeah, he's damn good in that.
Yeah,
He's also
very
the very second streaming show on Netflix, Hemlock Grove,
Yes.
which had a very interesting werewolf transformation, by the way.
Oh yeah, one of the best ones I've
It's
seen.
like a reverse transformation.
Yeah.
He always understands the assignment.
And then Anya Taylor-Joy. I mean, come on, she's amazing. I always say her and Jenna Ortega are the queens right now of horror. I mean, get them together, it'd be a fucking amazing movie. But her star power is good too because she's a hell of an actress, and she does. I mean, I'm definitely gonna see Nosferatu because of her and Bill Skarsgård. As far as Salem's Lot go, remember the first Salem's Lot was very long too.
What's his
It was a
vampire's
mini-
name in
yeah.
it? Marlowe?
It was a mini series.
Yeah, Marlowe.
Yeah, it was a mini series, but to take everything you had in that mini series and try to squeeze it in,
Into
and you cannot. And unfortunately, I think Salem's Lot, if you squeeze into like the hour and 30-minute mark, the movie's gonna.
And there's
You're
one
right.
issue.
Yeah,
There's one issue too,
Yeah.
JR. Salem's Lot, Marlowe, and Nosferatu, as far as a creature design, are
They're
very
similar.
similar
Mhm.
looking.
Very similar.
Very similar.
Very similar. And they come out roughly around the same time. That's going to be a problem. Whoever come out first got the advantage of that.
Yeah.
I think the problem is going to be is who does the practical effects versus the CGI. Salem's Lot, for some reason,
Yeah.
his CGI is going to play a factor in that. Whereas Nosferatu, you could put any makeup on Bill Skarsgård. He'll make the face.
He'll make
not
it
yet.
work.
He'll make it work.
I'm not too worried with that.
well,
As long
all
as
of
they
them,
don't go over-
even Defoe. I mean, all
Yes.
of them. They all can do the physical very, very well.
It's a good cast, and everybody. Nosferatu was one of the best looking vampires that's ever been created. And
Oh, thanks, Alexi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We did it just for you.
But and the thing is, like you said it before too, Joe. Salem's Lot is a Stephen King film, and Stephen King films struggle.
It's hard to
go
translate.
back on screen. Me and Rick will talk about one later though. But
Yeah, well, and
Which is funny
I'm-
about Stephen King, Joe. I'm sorry, but before he loved the Demeter film too.
did he?
He said it was. He did say it was a slow burn, but he said it's a good. Slow
but he
burn.
loves slow burns though.
He
Stephen
loves
King
slow
burns.
slow burns.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, most Stephen King books are a slow burn if you
Yeah.
don't read them.
That's what they are.
But
for me,
you know,
I think definitely Nosferatu is gonna, because of the star power, it's gonna attract a bigger audience.
It's gonna. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Salem's Lot, you're gonna have people who are gonna question it. It's just
Who's directing Salem's Lot? I don't even know.
oh my God, he did.
got you, don't
I want to
worry.
say he did Annabelle.
The first
He
one.
did some of those the Conjuring type of movies.
We live, baby.
All right, well, while he's looking it up, Radar.
Go
I
for
mean, what do you think that both these
Yeah.
movies are also going to suffer the same fate that the last two vampire movies have suffered?
You know, I'm going to be optimistic and say that if there's two movies that can kind of bring it back, it's these two.
I agree.
Yeah, like Nosferatu, you know, when you have Edgar's helming it like JR and Ricky said, you know, big following, they're going to go wherever he goes. People are on the Bill Skarsgård penis, which, as you should be.
Can we clip
Wow.
that?
Hey, at least he didn't say the wrong word. I mean, he could have said something a lot
And
more.
by the
worse.
way, this is interesting. The director of Salem's Lot is Gary Dauberman,
There you
who
go.
was the writer of Annabelle Comes Home,
Yep.
Annabelle Creation, The Nun, and It from 2017.
Yep,
Now,
he was a part of it.
director, I think this is his
this is his first directing, which is
This is-
what I know. Like you're
Joe,
giving-
guess what,
Man,
Joe?
man.
Guess what else he did? He was, it says here, he created the teleplay for the Swamp Thing TV series.
Oh,
the Max series from
all right.
2019.
Okay, all right.
So he's got
There's
the-
a little glimmer.
Yeah, that's good. That's
There's
good.
a little glimmer of hope there.
All right. But I think that one is that also bringing it back to it 2017 is that I think Stephen King is still riding high like his adaptations are. So I have a feeling that maybe this one will take it over the edge. And people love Salem's Lot.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like that gets brought up everywhere, every day.
Dude,
People love Salem's Lot. But my problem with Stephen King adaptations is that The books are 4,000 freaking pages. You can definitely cut some stuff out there.
It's like this thick.
It's
Oh
like
my god!
you could commit manslaughter with that bad boy.
I would say right now, don't ever fall asleep with the It book, like laying in bed
Oh,
trying to read it. Like
Oh my god!
that shit
You know
comes
how many
down
times
hard.
I fall asleep with my phone in front of
The
me,
phone.
like drop it.
Oh my god, yeah, no, that book, if you get it at that
Oh,
wrong
man.
corner, can get you. Anyway, sorry, Radar.
Oh no, you're good. But I imagine that like this is the perfect thing of like being forced to adapt Salem's Lot into a movie format that's like, hey, a nice clean 2 hours, maybe a little bit over, you know, and it'll cut it down nice and get rid of all the filler that Stephen King likes to throw in there. I don't need to know about the antique wood tables that Kurt Barlow's selling in his fucking shop. All right, I don't need that.
Some of those things are meant to connect the universe, so.
JR, I was gonna ask you I was gonna say, JR, where's Cold Pull?
Oh, which shit hurts.
It's about the book in your face when you sleep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
Cold Pull. What up, son?
All right, well, for me, I'm gonna first on Salem's Lot jump off what JR said. Like miniseries, like for me, Stephen King's work a little bit better as a miniseries. Salem's Lot has a lot to put in there with a lot of characters, a lot of storytelling. Maybe they could have done and I haven't even seen it yet, but only because I've read the book and I love the other movies, done the same way they did with It, and do it, you know, Salem's Lot 1 and Salem's Lot 2. I think that might, because I don't know what I was trying to look at the runtime, but anything that is going to be less than 2 hours for Salem's Lot is not going to give the story its justice. I know you guys are saying to eliminate some stuff. Even 2 hours maybe can give it the justice, but it might not.
God
And
damn.
Do you have to adapt the actual book though?
there's
It's
a
risky,
lot.
but do you
It's
have?
risky.
Can they
Well,
just
yes,
take the
they just-
characters and
No,
go off
no,
in their
no.
own different story with it? You know what I'm saying?
Then put it as an adaptation or word it differently. But if you're going to be doing the book itself, you got to follow the book.
Oh shit!
But
Or
it's
if,
been done.
if you
That's
if
why-
you can go
I got it, I got it,
loosely
yeah.
based on.
Yes.
Loosely based on will let you know you're not going to get it. But if I'm going to see Salem's Lot, I'm going to want to see Salem's Lot.
I got the runtime right here.
Oh God.
Uh-oh,
Wait,
what are we
wait,
looking
According
at?
to this, is
Uh-oh.
113 minutes.
What's that roughly?
That's just under 2 hours.
Yeah, it's under 2.
All right.
No,
All right.
no.
So we might be
That's-
okay.
That's
not
solid.
bad. That's not
We might
bad.
be okay.
not
Does
But
that
here's the
include
thing.
credits?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
13 minutes of credits. So
I mean, but here's the thing, though. Sometimes not having a star-powered cast does help a movie out.
oh, definitely.
You know, so maybe Salem's Lot might be like the little sleeper one over Nosferatu. You know, as you guys said, Nosferatu is going to have the Eggers following. When I said one of the two that I'm gonna watch, it's gonna be Nosferatu. I'm gonna go to theaters to see
Yeah,
that.
me too. Me too.
I'm an Eggers. I'm an Eggers fan. I mean, The Witch is. I know a lot of people hate The Witch and put a lot of hate on The Witch, but watch that movie. If you give that movie so many rewatches,
I don't hate it. I don't hate The Witch. By the way, the guy actor from The Witch, the father, I believe he's in Nosferatu too.
Is it really?
Okay.
The guy with that awesome. He
He's
was in Lord of
awesome,
the
man.
Joe.
Yeah,
JR. He was in the Lord of the Rings TV series. He had that awesome voice, that deep voice.
He's-
That
yeah.
dude's amazing, man.
He's awesome. I love that actor.
So
Man,
I'm-
Eggers just gets the actors he wants and he keeps rolling with them. But
That's
I'm
good.
fine with that.
George
Well, and-
Romero, John Carpenter, even Rob Zombie. I love directors that keep the same loyal.
Yeah,
I love that.
Ralph Ineson is the actor.
That's him, right? Right, JR? That's him. Yeah, he's
All right,
good.
real quick while I talk, somebody let me know what the release dates are for both of those movies. Look that up.
I'm gonna scream if it's middle of July.
JR got you.
But so for me, like I'm looking forward to both of these movies. I'm really hoping that it does bring people back to vampires because honestly, Radar, I'm sorry, but vampires are really good villains. I mean, they're immortal. The powers that they have to control other people, they can like kill a bunch of people without actually like getting their hands dirty because they can just have their familiars and do all this stuff, do it. But Turquoise waving.
That's the person turquoise. That's an emoji that didn't show up, so they just
Oh.
translated it.
I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
I looked at the screen real quick and going,
Looking
am I
for the
wearing
turquoise.
turquoise right now?
I hate turquoise.
I like turquoise. It doesn't translate well for like when you're doing this. But yeah, I'm really fucking hoping that people will watch these movies. I mean, Salem's, I'm gonna admit, probably won't go to the theater for that one. Definitely as soon as it streams, I'm watching that one. Love the fucking book. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I've read a lot of his books.
Looks like
And
Nosferatu drops in 2024.
but you don't have them on.
Okay. No, doesn't.
No, that's still it's still in production. They won't. Yeah.
It's the production.
I hope it's gonna be a fall.
I mean,
release,
in
man.
October, like end of September.
I'll take
October.
September
Actually,
over the summer.
Early September's fine.
let me take a quick sip of this because you guys, what we're talking about is gonna go with what I want to ask you, Nas.
Like, but in early September, I feel like is the earliest you can tweak those bad boys on in. Get
Yeah,
away.
right.
Well, wait,
But
hold
I
on.
prefer the end of September.
So since Radar went first, my question to you all is, what can Hollywood do to get us back into the movie theaters?
Yeah,
like,
JR.
what can bring the moviegoers back? Wait, what are you saying, JR? JR, you got the date for the other
No,
one?
like I felt back. He
Oh,
always
no.
goes last. Go ahead.
No, I went first in the first one.
He did. He
Yeah,
did.
first
I
question was
did.
mine.
And because I know I got him, and Rick, I told you not to do this. Where's my holy water? I'm actually gonna go to Radar first because Radar was mentioning, But yeah, so what can Hollywood do to bring us back from the movies we talked about? We've all kind of, but what will make us go back to the theaters to see vampire movies? And here's my other thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be Dracula. So
I feel like it just has to be some idea that we've never seen before, and it needs to be marketed in a good way to say, hey, this is something new. This is something fresh for all like the horror fans out there to go see a vampire movie. I don't know any ideas off the top of my head, but vampires on a submarine, maybe. Come on. It's never been done
You
before.
in a
Damn,
submarine.
He wants a submarine.
It's a submarine.
so bad, man.
We
There's
all
no
live
submarine
in a
horror
yellow
movie.
submarine. Radar, what were you doing before we logged on? Are you on a yellow submarine right now?
Oh. Don't tell the coppers, Fred. No, but I mean, that's just off the top of my head, but like something new and fresh, like with vampires, it's just like different that we've never seen before. That I feel like, it has to be a good storyline that we can get. Oh, well, I'm not going to say anything because I guess we'll probably talk about good vampire movies later, but I just remembered one that came out in the past like 2 decades that's super good, but it was a different play on the concept. So you just need another one of those, which that's not easy, granted, but I feel that's the way to get people back to watch some vampire stuff.
All right. JR, our writer here, what do you think needs to happen for us to go pay that money? Because it's a lot of money also to go to the movies. I mean, it's not cheap anymore.
I'm sure we'll talk about movies that we like a little later, but the thing is with vampires, people don't love the concept of the vampire. They love the character. So you have to have a character vampire that basically brings something different to the table. Now, I don't want to mention it. I was going to mention it, but I have to mention it to show comparison. Kate Beckinsale's character in Underworld. Everybody loved her character. She was what put that series together. What made
I'm
people
surprised it took this long for somebody to.
I was trying to hold, man. Like,
Literally, but it's
Listen,
all behind me
listen,
right now.
listen. But yeah, Celine was a very good character that started a vampire franchise when we didn't have a vampire franchise until, let's go a little bit further back than that, True Blood. Characters. You have to have certain characters that people are not going to go just see a vampire to see it. Last Voyage of Demeter. Last 20 minutes of the film is when you actually saw the vampire, from what I read. Last 20 minutes of the film, and the 20 minutes of the film they show the vampire, it's CGI.
Yeah,
That's
I would
a
have
no-no.
been pissed. I would have been pissed.
So for me, it's, you have to have a character, have a different type of storyline. Now, when you have a male character, they're always a sex symbol. They're always looking for love. Stop. Stop the looking for love thing. If you're gonna do the looking for love thing, just go into a series. But another movie. I mean, I think Rick mentioned Interview with Vampire. Everybody liked the Louis character. Why? Because you had a guy who became a vampire who didn't want to be a vampire, and he was so alone and bored. That right there is a perfect storyline for a vampire film. Somebody who basically is miserable, goes around the world, tries to find happiness, not falling in love. But imagine you have a vampire who's trying to find ways to die and he can't die. Make him a freaking daywalker.
Right.
Everything he does, he cannot do something interesting.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Storyline, yeah.
True storyline.
What's good about that too? It became a franchise. Too,
Yes.
like an original.
Yes.
That wasn't anything. No, that was an original.
I don't think it was
concept.
based on any material.
No,
yeah,
no,
so.
yeah.
No.
And it was amazing. Everybody loves the underworld. Yes, exactly. You don't need that no more.
What was that new movie though? The Invitation that just came out.
God,
like-
that fucking.
That's
sucked
the
donkey
problem
balls.
with new horror.
that shit
now.
sucked donkey balls. That
For
was
example,
horrible.
well, I said it first. You just start typing now. No, but for example, all right, I'll compare it. There was a Marvel character in the Eternals who had the ability to control minds, right? But he was so pissed off because they were not meant to interfere with the world. I forgot the name of the character. You know what I'm talking about, right, Rick?
Yeah.
And make a character like that. Imagine a vampire character who wants to be somebody in the world, but he can't. But he witnesses how humanity basically continues to ruin itself. That's a good storyline there. You have to have a storyline and a character. I mean, Bill Skarsgård, I love you, but don't put him into another vampire film, even when it's Nosferatu. But make a character-driven vampire film that you can build upon franchise after franchise. Remember, Underworld will make Underworld good, which we'll talk about later, is the fact that they brought the werewolves and vampires together and it had a compelling storyline.
Yep.
And the love thing was there, but it wasn't at the forefront of the film.
No, it was just underlying
Yes.
the whole time.
For me, a character-driven vampire film, have the gore,
Yes,
but have the character evolve as the movie goes.
all right, Rick, what you got to say
I mean,
on
oh
this?
man, I can't. He said it. You got to keep people engaged on this thing. Just make it creepy, man, and atmospheric. That's one thing these movies all lack is atmosphere. If you think of like the original Nosferatu, the black and white silent film, look at just it's black and white, but just look at the use of black and white in that film.
Yeah.
And the way they use it to light the actual creature in a way with the long fingernails and just him just in the shadows. You don't even gotta show him, just his silhouette, man.
Skarsgård is gonna kick ass.
Exactly,
I
bro.
really because Max Trek is a really hard one to follow up.
And you gotta
Max Trek,
Yeah.
and stay away from current trends.
Yes.
You know, don't make it teens. We don't need anything like that. We don't have to, give us, add some Hammer flavor, but make it subtle.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it subtle. Go back to basics. And that's it. And you got yourself a winner. Enough said.
To jump up what Rick's saying, now imagine if you have a vampire film that the film is done a la Sin City. That the only time you see color is the red. That look itself.
You got to see that in 30 Days a Night.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh, you did, but imagine a little bit completely.
Joe,
like that.
wow.
completely
I
got it.
really forgot about
Dude,
that one, Joe.
That was I know. I mean, and it's not as
No, Nick.
no Nick Cage.
No.
Sorry, not to interrupt you, Jared.
That's the.
But just one of the best parts of 30 Days of Night was the contrast of the blood against the white.
Yes.
Yep.
So, what you guys? Yeah, that would be awesome. But go ahead, finish off, because.
Oh yeah, you do a film like that. I mean, I think it'll compel people because who doesn't like Frank Miller type films?
Right.
Hell, Frank Miller, do yourself a favor, write a vampire flick and
fucking get on that.
let's get it.
Come on. I want really burly vampires, just like all Frank Miller
Yeah,
characters.
and you don't have to have all
I
vampires. look
hate
like
it.
the
I've
freaking
always
models.
hated his art style, man.
Don't have
said it
vampires
big
look
and
like models.
burly.
That's the thing too. Make every vampire different. They don't have to look like monsters. They could look horrific. They could look like monsters.
That's what I loved
Right.
about 30 Days of Night. I just saw it for the first time when me and Joe did our episode on it. I've never seen
Well, no,
it.
he saw the sci-fi version.
I saw it on TV.
He saw
edited.
the sci-fi version.
So
No,
It
that's
I
just
thought it was
edited.
PG-13. I thought it was PG-13 the whole time.
Oh my god!
So when Joe approached me, hey, let's do it for that comic book horror show. I'm like, really? You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, I picked my movie. I'll do yours. And I saw it. I'm like, holy shit, this fucking
shit.
movie rocks. And yes, the contrast between the colors and the blood, and not just that. JR, you said it, make them different. And this goes back not just to the film. This goes back to the comic books. Because that I was more familiar with that. The shark teeth was such an original concept that it's just take a shark's mouth and put it on someone's face. That's just fucking scary, bro.
And the language. They spoke a different language.
Yeah.
All right,
That
real
was
quick.
cool too. We brought that up too, Joe.
Dude, on the language. So, JR, if you didn't see the episode, so when I rewatched 30 Days of Night, I forgot to put on my subtitles. So when they were talking the vampire language, I'm like, I swore that I knew what they said. It's not good, but it made it scary.
Yes.
Actually, truthfully, it made the movie even more scarier not having my subtitles on. So when they talked in their own language, even though because I'm like, damn, if memory serves me right, I knew what they said. And then when Rick brought up, just put your subtitles on. I'm like, yeah, I forgot. So when they were like in their own language, it made it scary because you knew they were talking about a plan on taking people out, and you didn't. For the people who forgot to put the subtitles on, you didn't hear that was the fucking plan. For me, it made me.
Mm-hmm. This is going back to Nosferatu. Sorry, I didn't want to lose this comment. That's true. Fingernails and that is very key. Imagine a dark lit room, and you see hands come up, and all you see is the fingernail. Like, oh my god, what's behind that? You know what I'm saying? Like little subtle things like that, man.
Just make it inhuman enough. It's Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, the eyes being
That's
so
what really
blue
gets
and
you.
icy, looking on cover made Underworld stand out. Yeah, Joe got the covers right behind
Dude,
him.
they're all up. Like before we logged on, I told Rick, I'm like, shit, because viewers, if you haven't noticed in my background or my collection, every once in a while, depending on what we're doing, I will change my movies. All I have is Underworld. I have no other vampire. I'm like, really?
You don't own Fright Night?
Dude, I don't own Fright Night. I don't own.
Didn't you do it a vampire?
I don't have any of that. I'm telling you what I got. Like it's not
real
gonna
one
change.
right there.
You can keep asking me if I got this.
What time you got Vampire Diaries?
No, but I mean, I watched that till season 3. But like it's literally Underworld behind me.
And Twilight. You said Twilight earlier, didn't you?
Well, no, I said don't bring up Twilight because that's
sorry.
Rookie mistake,
No.
Ricky.
So it's funny because just to bounce off what a lot of you guys said and leading into the next part, because no Twilight, not at all. Because I'm gonna go first on the next one. So for me, the whole romanticizing of it should be gone. And you could have romanticizing in the vampire, but as you guys said, like for me, like when they pick a loser, somebody who's lonely, as the one that they want to make their familiar or their new partner, is a different story. And I'm just as much as I love Renfield, yes, the Dracula character was over the top. Didn't see the Voyage of Demeter. Now that JR told me I have to wait till the last 20 minutes for the fucking vampire.
Wait a minute, he don't show up to the last 20 minutes?
Yes.
20 minutes.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch that either then, because it's a lot to ask for me to watch a vampire movie where I gotta wait till the last fucking 20 minutes of it. I'm not doing that. So yeah, that's where you messed up, Demeter. You should have, maybe had Dracula along the way eating the people, and they're all wondering. I didn't even see that yet. So did people disappear?
It shows like people getting killed. I haven't watched it, but I've read constant reviews. People who've actually gone to watch it and they say, you have the deaths and stuff, but the fact that you don't see the Dracula character till the last 20 minutes of the film, is kind of just, I hate when they do that shit.
Well, see, for me, like when a vampire picks a familiar, they usually pick someone who's a bit of a loner, someone who's picked upon. And I'm jumping into the next one. So when I'm done talking, I'm going to ask you guys your favorite vampire movie.
Before we get into that, Joe, this won't take long. One thing we got to show some love for this, though. We don't got to get into the conversation, but the Hammer films from back in the day, because you mentioned romanticize.
Top tier.
Peter Cushing, for example. Oh my God, the guy from Jesus Christ, Lord of the Rings.
Christopher Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was a great Dracula.
Like those films, the vampire lovers. I know Radar's seen the vampire lovers. Those films all had the same like story beats, as far as the seduction, But they
No
were so
CGI
good. But you
and
know why they're
lighting.
so good? No CGI. Obviously, you can't have.
And
I think
lighting.
There was no CGI, but the atmosphere, bro.
Mhm.
It was the world that they threw you into. The world you were thrust into. That was the key, man. You felt like you were there, and they made it even scarier. Movies today lack that. They have no discipline whatsoever anymore. So
Yeah.
Well, and so for me, like the changes that need to be done is make relatable characters. What?
I gotta grab a beer, dude.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't want to miss your point, though, man.
Oh, no.
You guys don't mind just talking about whatever until I come back?
No, I got something to talk about.
All
Go ahead, go, run.
All
Jared's going to babble on.
All right.
No, I'm messing around, Jared.
All right, no. So to go back to your Renfield point. Now, imagine if they would took the Renfield movie and flipped it, where you have the Renfield character have the power over Dracula.
But that's the whole thing, though. You didn't see the movie.
I didn't see the movie,
Is
but
that,
imagine
no, but
if
the
they
point,
would
the
have.
point is that
trailed it like
he did figure that out.
No,
because-
but if he had total control from the trailer showed his control over Dracula,
all right.
you would have had people watch the film, because now you're going into the whole thing was, all right, so Renfield's not just some freaking loner, some psycho who's basically the pet of Dracula. No, he actually has control over Dracula. So let's see how much control he has over Dracula. Now you're
All right.
it's the marketing.
Hold on, because you didn't see it.
I don't
So
want to see it still.
So what happened is that Dracula ends up in the beginning has this battle, and then he is burned. So he's physically he's hurt. So for years, Renfield has taken care of him. So Renfield joins a support group for victimized people. And that's when they let him know that he's got the power. Because all these years he's been bringing people to Dracula when he could just stop. So he's the one that's been making Dracula strong again. And while we wait for Rick, the one thing that I hated on the trailer for Renfield is that they showed you the scene where Dracula showed up and he gets invited in. This should not, because that is a great sequence on the fact that Renfield had become friends with these people. These people gave him the power to realize that he's been in charge. Literally, he's been the one feeding Dracula to keep him alive and help him regenerate from the burning that he got fucking centuries ago.
See, right there, just you explaining that doesn't sound original for me, because it kind of reminded me of that whole thing when the stock got burned and interviewed a vampire, and he fed for all these years.
Yes, it's similar to that. Renfield. I still say both of you guys should just check it out once.
All right.
I am.
Radar, you check it first.
I'm no. Here's the thing, though. When I do the movies that fuck me up, I tell everybody you need to check out movies at least once. Check it, watch it, because it's it's like the Nick Cage, it's all about Renfield and the problem that it went superhero-ish, and Rick and I discussed this on there, but it gives you the story on it, and it is truly a different spin. You guys are talking about how we need to change, how Hollywood needs to change things. It was a little bit of a different spin, showing Renfield as after Dracula gave him his blood, in order for him to get his powers, he would have to eat insects. So he had this little case with spiders and bugs that he would like eat, and then he would be able to kick ass.
See, but if they would have marketed it as comedy wise,
Angel gets it. She knows what's up.
Satan's little helper, Satan man.
if
That's
they would have,
Satan man.
if they would have marketed it
Satan
the
man.
right way, like you were saying, is
It would have given you
make it seem like Renfield was in a relationship where he's doing everything,
yes, and
then he feels like he's being held back by his
and that's what it was.
partner.
But
No, but
Renfield's
if they would have
it's a metaphor
marketed it that way, though.
for being in a
Toxic
toxic
relationship.
relationship.
But if they would have trailed it
Well,
that
no,
way,
because
that's what I'm
Rick-
saying. People would have watched it more, but the trailer itself did what trailers mostly do. They ruined the film.
I don't watch trailers. See,
Well, no,
They ruin it
Rick,
for me.
Rick,
Don't
because
watch
you
them.
don't watch it,
trailers.
but the
Well, Nick
topic,
Cage,
while you were getting your beer, the topic I brought up was the fact that the trailer showed Dracula showing up at the meeting and getting invited in. It did.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
And I know he doesn't, but that's what we were talking about.
can I say Angel?
Joe, why are you letting Jeremy point about a movie he hasn't seen? Wait, Joe didn't see that movie?
Renfield, no.
Renfield, no, I said in the
No,
beginning.
next
that's right.
person,
Yeah, no,
next-
I know.
I said in the
I'm
beginning,
talking
man.
about.
Next,
I'm
how the
telling
fuck
them
are we gonna
both.
be on here talking about this? I thought you saw it.
No, he didn't see it. No, he said he didn't see
I
it.
said I didn't see it.
Oh, you gotta watch it. I think you.
No,
would
that's
like
what I
it,
said.
GR.
I gave him the horror challenge.
know why?
You
I
have
told
to.
Radar watch it first and then let me know.
No, but GR, you know why you would like it? Because you're a comic book fan, and this has a lot
are.
of comic
Like,
book moments
JR,
in it.
If
No,
if
real
you
talk,
go,
not even joking around. Because
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
but you will appreciate the more comic book factor. Oh, he just
Uh-oh.
dropped. Did you break something?
No, I dropped
That
my
shit sounded like
freaking
a
plug
plug.
into this.
Man,
All right,
damn.
so before he stepped off, like I said, with changing the vampire movies, there's one thing JR brought up that makes movies different. And I'm going to ask all you guys. Looking at the time, we might go a little longer.
Is it a bonus
But,
question?
oh no, I'm going first. I said I was going first. And I was translating right in there. But I'll give you the
I'm
first one,
making a
JR.
point.
But for me, JR said you need to have something a little bit different, and there's that loneliness. My favorite fucking vampire movie is the original. I think it's Swedish. Let
Yes.
the Right One In.
Yes.
Let the Right One In has been from. Now, I was going to tell you guys The Lost Boys because I'm an 80s kid, but then JR brought up the lonely part. And then my brain went, "Oh shit! You totally forgot about this one."
I purposely left that movie out because I was gonna bring it up.
I was too.
all right.
to be
Well, no,
honest.
you guys can jump.
No, no,
but I
no.
mean, because
No.
here's the thing, though.
I
You
want
guys,
you to go.
but we can all bounce up because that movie was
Excellent,
different.
excellent.
That movie was different.
And what we're talking about, make it different.
Different.
JR mentioned it. Radar mentioned it.
and
there you go.
know, in some
And
of the
take out the romance.
Yes.
slight romance.
Wait, there
but-
was romance in that movie.
Very slight.
It's like I feel like it's platonic.
But there was
more than-
creepy
Yes.
romance though.
Yes.
Very
It
It
creepy.
was creepy.
I would have
But
hooked up with her, to be honest. I'll be honest. I would have hooked up with her.
Whoa, this is a
But
child.
she's a
bro. Chill.
vampire.
I'm a child too
Yeah.
at the time, man. Come on.
Well, I meant I meant they're
I mean,
both.
he was
they're
applying
both-
for a job.
They're both child. They're both kids.
But I mean, for me, that one,
I know what you meant.
that one, because and like I in high school, whereas I knew people, I was kind of a
Angela.
loner.
The
I was a
original, not the
loner.
remake. The original.
The original. I think it's guys. You two.
It's
look
Swedish.
it up.
It's Swedish. Trust
Alright.
me. It's Swedish.
Yeah, that's what.
So like that movie hit me. That movie hit me to and I said this when we did Swamp Thing. That shit hit me to my soul because I was a loner. I'd always been a loner. I had friends, but so here's this.
Oh, that was
vampire.
Fright Night. Fright Night. You mentioned that.
Well, yes, but I'm saying and Let the Right One In.
No, you said Swamp Thing. That's why. I'm sorry.
No, oh, you're right. Sorry.
I'm Ricky Grimes. Of course
You got-
I'm
you
right.
got it,
son.
So he can't get up with the schedule, but on this one anyway. But so Let the Right One In was the most refreshing original vampire movie to have come out since, for me, The Lost Boys. That it was a story that like you had so much sympathy for the father. You had sympathy for the vampire. You had sympathy for the kid.
Well said.
I did not hate the U.S. remake with Chloe Moretz.
Didn't see it.
I will admit, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad,
It's
but
not that bad.
no need for it. No need for it.
Yeah,
No,
when
there
you
was
have
no need. It was-
perfection.
Yeah.
It was too soon, and I think there was another
Yeah,
one we
it's
talked
way
about
too
that it
soon.
was too soon.
Mhm.
But Let the Right One In was the most perfect, newest vampire movie to have come out.
1000%. That movie.
It didn't involve Dracula, and it involved JR's favorite theme, kids. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but
It sounds like it's
no,
a bad one.
I know it does, but
Kids
guys,
are
if you
man.
guys haven't paid attention to the movies that JR reviews, if it's not a demon possessed kid or a demon possessed baby or some kid in some type of thing, that's JR's genre. I'm not mocking it because again, Let the Right One In is for me one of the best vampire movies.
But they're young teens. They're not kids. They're young teens, right?
They're young teens,
Yeah, yeah.
preteens.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they're
Preteens.
preteens.
They're
Preteens,
like
preteens,
10.
yeah.
Between
So
10
that movie, like for years, for years, The Lost Boys had been my favorite one, and I'm even gonna admit that then it got replaced by 30 Days of Night, because 30 Days of Night had the originality that we spoke about with making them look different, and then Let the Right One In came out, and that shit just blew it out of the water. Turned out to be one of the best vampire movies I've seen. Original. It makes you understand and feel the characters, which you guys said. It's about characters. The father, the vampire, the kid. It was just an amazing fucking vampire movie.
That's good.
So let's see what you guys' number one is, because that one's mine.
I got you, GR. Uh-oh. Oh, well, oh, what's your story? Gotcha. Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So for this one, because even though, I mean, since I'm going to Radar first.
I'll go last. I'll go last.
No. Well,
Oh, well, Jay wanted to go. Let him go.
Oh, that's
well,
right.
me and Rick are going to
No,
connect.
no.
I think me and Rick got the.
actually, you're right. Thank you, Rick. I mean, Radar. I'm a little buzzed right now. JR, go ahead.
But let me jump back into the Let the Right One In. The film, what made the film amazing was you had two characters that are basically by themselves. Well, the guy who was taking care of the girl wasn't really her dad. That was basically her caretaker.
Familiar.
He was the one assigned to basically get the blood for her because she didn't want to kill. The only time she killed was to defend the kid.
I gotta see this movie again. It's so good.
And
Again, but that's a
That
familiar.
cool scene. Oh.
well, yeah, but exactly what it was too is what the kid didn't know is he was actually being interviewed for the job to replace the guy basically who was doing the stuff for, which
Familiar.
made the
It's
film
called
even
a familiar.
It's called The Familiar. If
Familiar.
You didn't know by
I mean,
now.
It's a familiar. It's like the
But-
father was a familiar.
Well, I don't think he was guaranteed.
Oh, wait,
she
my
was
bad,
guaranteeing
my
him
bad.
immortality, though.
Don't. That's just a different spin on the Dracula
Yeah,
storyline.
but
What I'm saying, a familiar
to that,
is
I'll
the
get to
person.
that.
A familiar is the person who brings the
Yeah,
victims to the
yeah.
person.
We got
But
that.
they're
Yeah,
usually guaranteed to become a vampire when it comes with most familiars. They just basically strung along, a la Blade. Throw Blade out there.
I'm surprised no one has brought that up yet.
Oh well,
Right.
no, we'll save that for the end. I
Yeah,
got
but
you.
JR already threw it out there.
This is a little hint. You guys can talk about it. But,
No,
I mean,
no.
that's what made the movie great. And you had two child characters who were basically by themselves. And they lived in a freaking
And
slum.
good actors,
It was
by the way.
Very good actor.
Oh my
Very,
god. Oh my
Very
god.
good actor.
Both-
Once again, if you
both
don't
of
know,
them.
I'm an
Both.
international film fanatic. And when they remake the films in the States, I freaking hate them. I try to refuse to watch them. It's not horrible. I'll throw another one. I love the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. They decided remaking the States.
It was
Original's
not
still
good.
better. But for me and Rick, we talk about this movie endlessly. I'll just mention a portion of it, and I'm sure he'll jump on it. But one of the Stephen King films that was actually a perfect film was The Night Flyer. And The Night Flyer is a very good vampire film. And where I think it connects with Radar's an author. I'm an aspiring writer wanting to be an author. But it's the concept of the search for the story and where the story leads you, which I think actually made the film even better. For me, that film was character driven.
Wait, underwater, GR.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Right. For me, that film was character driven, and it was a great film, and it has probably one of the best endings of a film, especially a vampire horror film.
Awesome film.
It's got a great ending.
Very good ending. I'll stop.
I got confused. Is that Night Flyers or the last? Let the right
The
one.
Night Flyer.
Knife Flyer.
Okay.
The
All
Night
right.
Flyer. But as far as another movie I like, I mean, I cannot praise enough Underworld. Underworld was just freaking tremendous. I like the whole concept with the Underworld. I like the whole thing with the covens, because every vampire film has a coven.
Hey,
Yep.
you know why I don't put Underworld on my top list?
It's more action.
No.
Why? Don't tell me you don't like Kate Beckinsale.
No.
Because it's got werewolves.
What is the one thing I don't like?
Animals being killed.
No, it's all CGI, man.
Oh, this. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
bad CGI. It's not.
Nah, the
I'm not-
werewolves
no,
are
no,
not
no.
horrible.
Don't
The
get me
werewolves are
wrong.
not horrible.
I'm not saying it looks bad, but it's not practical. None of it. It's like
I know. Well,
Can't
it
beat the
takes
crap.
me
But the
out of it. It takes
storyline
me
was
out.
good. The introduction of the whole
Yeah, yeah.
Lycan.
No, I
very
like the
different
different
series.
and
though.
very original.
I do, but I'm just saying why I don't put
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do think it's a good series.
It's a good series. Unfortunately, as the series kept going, they kind of ruined the whole.
Yeah.
For me, this is my biggest knock on Underworld, is they had the potential to make it into a very long franchise. After Rise of the Lycans, they took a turn they shouldn't have took the turn, and to kind of start falling flat.
Are you saying when they
Okay, let-
replaced
I think-
Kate Beckinsale?
No, what they ended up doing
No,
after Rise of Lycans, you should have continued with that storyline to show exactly what happened in that gap where Craven eventually, him and Lucian made the deal.
What's crazy
Am I
is
missing
thought,
a movie?
I thought that Kate Beckinsale was the same actress.
Oh,
But
that's
they
Radha
They
Mitra.
replaced her with Rama. Yes,
Oh,
Radha Mitra.
Radha Mitra. Oh my god.
And they look alike.
No, yeah, that was in the Rise of Lycans. And the
She's
thing
awesome.
is, if you
She's
watch
awesome.
the original Underworld and you watch the Rise of Lycans, two different
Hold on.
actresses played the
Let's
Victor's
catch up
daughter.
on the chat. Hold on. We're falling behind. I missed the first set, but my number one is 30 Days. Good shout.
30
I know.
Days.
Skip class.
It
No,
would have
but-
been my number one, Angel. It would have been my number one, but let the right one.
Yeah, no,
superseded
that's not a bad number one. Because after I watched it for the first, I just seen it for the first time not too long ago. Me, Ricky Grimes. I thought it was
Yeah.
an
Watch that.
excellent
High
film.
five.
Real quick. In case you didn't see our video, there's a scene in the movie where there's a shot where they're looking. There's that one character, the stranger, right? What's his name, Joe?
Stranger. The stranger.
Yeah.
He's walking and he goes into Barlow, right? He's in the snow and you got the big overhead of Barlow, and my actual feed froze, right? And I'm like, damn, look at it. They're really this is a long pause. Okay, something's big's gonna happen over like 2 minutes and nothing happened. Like, what the fuck is going on? When I look, my fucking video froze. I didn't even know it the whole time. I was so mad. What the fuck? All
You
right,
got a
hold
couple
on.
more.
Angel baby. Oh, okay. They're saying hello to each other. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. All
Just
right.
go through the whole comment.
Y'all can text each other. I mean, you don't have to message. Oh yeah, y'all definitely could have texted all that.
I don't think I missed all these chats. All right, okay. Whatever. GR, just feel GR. Underworld is in my top 5
I
movies
totally agree.
after the third or fourth thousand.
I feel Blood Wars was forced.
What is
problem
Blood
with
Wars
Blood
movie? I didn't
is
know it
this,
was Blood Wars.
is-
That's the last
What?
one.
What they messed up on is the character
Good shot,
of
Angel.
Amelia was a very good character that did not get portrayed very well in the films. If you're gonna have Blood Wars, this is what I'm saying. After Rise of Lycans, they should have jumped into the whole thing, how Craven convinced Lucian to give him his piece of skin to end the war, and then bring in the character Amelia. The character Amelia is a big factor in Blood Wars, but the fact that you have so little of her
Blood
Yeah.
Wars.
throughout the
Yeah,
films,
yeah,
they
that was
ruined
last
that. And
one.
the
I don't
character
I don't
Amelia
recall
would
that
have
at
been
all.
awesome
Yeah,
to have her
Yeah.
own film, and that's why I think they ruined.
it was
And
forced. It was forced for me.
Yes, and before I let somebody jump off, the one film that I like that's in the original concept was
He's going with more than one. I said one.
Yeah, what's your number
Sorry.
one, GR?
Yeah, I mean, like, I know he's
Wait.
going
No,
on.
no,
Jared,
no,
what's your
no,
number
you
one?
know,
That's fine. No, that's fine.
because I said Night Flyer, but
I
then
don't mind
to
that.
let
I'm
Rick
just-
jump off of that
right,
because
right,
me and him
I'm
have-
just
Hold on.
confused at what his number one is. I don't
Hold on.
mind. his
What
number
is your
one.
number one, JR?
Oh, Underworld. I like
Underworld.
Underworld.
All right. I just want to make sure.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
No,
because
Underworld's
he's
number
like-
one. I didn't want
I'm
to talk too much about Night Flyer because I know Rick wants to talk about it.
No, that's not even on my list, bro. So you can
Well,
talk
and,
about it all you
I'm
want.
one of those that go, all right, so I just gotta mention this one too. And JR,
Oh, no, the reason I had to mention it is because
No,
it is original.
bro,
It is
I
a
know.
Korean film called
No, you're good,
Thirst.
GR. You're good, GR.
If you've never seen the film called
Thirst?
Thirst, is very different. You seen that one, Radar?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
It's the one about the
pretty
priest?
darn- Yes.
Y'all keep talking.
Yes.
I gotta get a beer.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that was a different concept, which I loved. You had a priest who would give people last rites during a pandemic. It was epidemic, right? That was going on.
Yeah, I think it was an
It was
epidemic.
an epidemic. So he was tired of giving people last rites. And so he decided to volunteer himself for this experimental drug where they hope it, basically combated the epidemic. But however, you had a high rate of fatalities during the process of the experimentation of this drug. But he survived it. But he needed basically blood in order to survive. And that was a different concept of the whole, vampire genre, which it was
Give me a
different.
second. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
No.
Everyone's
No,
gone.
I mean, what did you think of the film?
I thought it was a pretty good, like you said, it was definitely original. When did it come out? I can't
Oh my
remember.
god, it came out like I would say almost like 7-8 years ago.
Really? I didn't realize it's been that long. But yeah, I mean, it's an original concept. It's a new take on it, too. I like that.
I'm back.
He's bad.
On what?
Oh wow, that long.
On Thirst.
I haven't seen it.
2009.
I haven't
Wow,
seen
what?
that
No way.
2009.
Dang. Okay,
What
jeez.
the fuck?
All right, so yeah, so if you haven't watched that, watch Thirst International.
Passage of
Horror
time
flavor.
wins again.
But number one, Underworld for me.
Underworld. All right, Radar. What's your number one?
So
You can-
this is
I guess your
Radar
name
comes
number one.
in, doesn't say his number one, and gives some weird movie no one's ever seen. Because I love shouting out movies that like don't get brought up enough.
Yeah,
And there's
the
a
whole
bunch.
reason we do the channel, believe it or not.
That's there's a bunch of vampire movies.
Have
guys
you
talk
watched
about
my
once.
content? It's movies no one's ever talking about.
Same.
There we go.
So this is one that came out in 1985.
Yeah,
And it's called Life Force, directed
Oh,
by
I love
Toby
Life
Force. Toby Hooper.
Oh my
Toby
God!
Hooper.
Really?
That's a Toby Hooper
Are you
joint.
about to? So
Yeah,
he was-
come
He
on.
was
Of course we
gonna
know
throw
Life
down
Force.
something we would not know.
Oh well, I don't know. Not
That
many
is a
people have seen it.
fucking
Toby
awesome,
Hooper? Come on.
awesome
of course.
Fucking great, dude. I
Good
love how
shout.
it's like just the idea. It's like vampires in fucking space.
Yes.
Holy shit! How can this get any crazier? And that's the first like fucking 10 minutes, and then it just keeps getting
Yes.
more and more intense as it goes along.
I used to have a crush on that woman.
Me too.
I would-
Yeah, watching like, all right, let's see what I see. Anybody around?
Damn,
Yeah,
that's a
okay, play.
nice
God,
shot.
And it's just there's so many memorable moments throughout it that it's like Full Frontal is not even like in my top 10 moments that I remember from that film. Like the one corpse who like sucks the life out of someone when it comes back, and then it can't get someone else, and it fucking just explodes. It's like wild.
And guess what year that was? We just talked about it. Come on, guys. We just talked about that.
80.
No,
year.
you just say 85.
85, brother.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said 85.
I'm fucking.
80s. I said, well, I got
Am I drunk?
even though I mentioned, mine is not 85, but I figured you guys were gonna. Well, JR did not do 80s. Oh, so that leaves Rick. Rick, what's your number one?
Hold on. Let Radar finish. Huh?
Oh no, it's just a great film.
No, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's
you're
nothing.
good.
No other honorable mentions or nothing. I don't want to.
Oh, I guess maybe honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Near Dark is always a fantastic one, and it's got that. It has atmosphere to it for sure, like you were hoping for, Ricky. But it's fucking different because it's like a Midwestern kind of podunk, weird kind of backwoods atmosphere.
Let's bounce back because Near Dark is not my number one, but it is on my honorable mentions. It's in my top 5.
That's not fair. I didn't get an honorable mention.
Cause come on,
But
bro.
that's okay. No, because I thought y'all were gonna stick to what I said.
I'm not gonna stick
I'm
with
the
you.
king
Yeah,
of
we're live
honorable
stream.
mentions.
Look, man, I
Oh,
had
you
3
guys-
shots already.
Yeah, take us out, Gio. Take us out, Gio. Go,
Yeah,
Gio.
look at it.
Do
You
it. No, I
guys-
want to see it. I want to see it, Gio. Do it.
So while I mentioned porn and shot, I give
Shot.
another shout out to another film. No, I'm joking.
Shots
Hold
for
on,
shout outs.
Here we go. Look. I mean, yo, this is like
Oh,
fucking
wait,
holy
I
water.
still got a shot. So
Fuck.
Oh, Night Angel. I don't know if she's still
Oh
here.
yeah, right, Angel.
Who's this?
In the commies.
Listen, Near Dark, right?
Yeah, Near Dark.
If you look at all right, this film, right? Who directed it? Radar.
Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine
Catherine
Bigelow.
Bigelow.
Jesus
Yeah, that's
Christ.
a
She
great one, too,
wasn't she
Wow.
with James Cameron, right? Am I?
No.
Or were they friends? Anyway, I think James
Something.
Cameron went to her, right? Or she went to him. And he wanted to support her. So he gave her Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, and Jeanette Goldstein.
Oof, good cast.
All actors from...
cast.
He just worked with them on Aliens. And also you got Adrian Pasnero. How you say his name? Oh,
Adrian Pasdar.
guy from
Yeah.
Heroes.
Adrian
Yeah.
Pasdar. Adrian
From
Pasdar.
Heroes. This fucking film, bro. People don't... This film does not get enough love, bro.
No,
It's
no,
so
it does not.
damn
In a
It does
world where
not.
vampires roam freely, imagine walking around. You can go to a bar or a strip club or whatever, drink beers, get drunk, and you run into a fucking vampire. Bro, this film is amazing. Thank you.
I
Rita.
think
That was
that's
on
one of my
list too,
favorite parts too about it is like whenever you see vampires, they're like sexy, sophisticated, or this
And they're
and
not.
that.
They're none of
Yeah,
that.
they're just like
There's a
hobos.
reason.
I
Why-
love hobo vampires.
A reason why I put Bill Paxton on the promotional artwork for this stream from Near Dark, because I was gonna bring it up, but I'm glad you brought it up, Radar. Near Dark is fucking dope, and
It is
Severin's
sweet.
death was so good. Oh my
Oh
god,
man.
I love that fucking movie, bro. I want to see it
I
again.
feel like the bar
Good
massacre is great. Oh man. Just
Bill
so good.
Paxton was amazing.
Bill Paxton is always amazing, man.
Oh
Rest
my
in
peace.
God.
Rest in
Oh
peace.
my
It's always amazing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no.
Joe?
What's your number one movie?
Oh,
It's not Near Dark, so
all right. So my top 5. Before I get to that, Near Dark.
5.
No, I'm not gonna. No. I'm not gonna go like. I'm not gonna talk in depth. So honorable mentions, right? I had it already. No order, but Near Dark, obviously. Fright Night, obviously.
Duh,
Fright
I mean,
Night
guys,
is fucking amazing. We
If
just
you have
talked
not
about it.
seen,
over it.
we just did a review on that one. So
Check
make
it
sure if you didn't watch it, check it out because honestly, we all agree
Evil is
one of
Yes.
the
Yes.
best vampire movies. Even though we're all giving our number ones, Fright Night
It is.
probably
Yeah.
it is for all of us on our list. The thing is, why bring up one movie that we all know, we all love? Let's bring up something that somebody else is not going to bring up.
Yeah, if it was my number 1, I would have said it. I'm not gonna change it because
It's
we
not.
just.
I know you.
But for my guilty pleasure and the most beautiful, seductive scene I've ever seen in my life, from Dusk Till Dawn with Salma Hayek.
Thank you.
That's on my top 5 because it's outlandish, it's
I
outrageous.
fucking love that
It
movie.
starts as one movie and it transforms
Completely.
into something else.
Something else. And
Come on,
Salma,
the pistol in
It's
the
got
crotch.
Tom-
it's
Come
got
on.
Tom Savini, a
Dude.
sex machine. One of my
Oh my
You had
God.
a pistol
With
on
with
his crotch.
Yeah, his pistol gun. But honestly,
It's
Salma Hayek.
it's Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, bro. It's a love letter to all the Grindhouse films that came before it. How can you not enjoy
Right
them?
before
Harvey
Grindhouse.
Keitel, bro. Come on, like
A great movie.
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette
Yeah.
great
Lewis.
cast, such a
Stacked.
hottie back in the day. So
George
yes.
fucking Clooney. You didn't even mention him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
The
original
funny thing,
concept. Very original.
Radar, Day of the Dead, George Romero. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like the third one in the series?
Yes.
Yeah.
Captain Rhodes, who played the military general who got ripped in half by the zombies, and he's like, "Joe got it."
Yeah. Oh, God.
He actually was gonna be the original Gecko. What's his name? Richard? Not Richard. the other
Oh,
guy.
really? Okay.
Oh, George Clooney's character.
Oh, he was gonna originally be him. Oh,
Yes,
that'd be
there's
interesting.
footage. There's test footage of him as that character out there. I put it in one of our videos, but it went to George Clooney. But anyway, excellent film. My number 2, obviously, well, not number 2, just not order, but Let the Right One In is in my top 5. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
You brought it up. But
It's unmatched.
hold on, I need a sip for my number 1. I need a sip.
Oh, I'll take a sip
I gotta
for you.
drink some of this beer because I'm gonna get mad seductive on y'all right now.
Damn. This is going to go like Tony Banderas interview the vampire.
All right,
He's got the microphone too.
Ain't
number
touching
1.
Candle.
ASMR vampire.
Nobody has mentioned this film. It's not the 2000s. It ain't the 90s. It ain't the 80s. I'm going back to the 70s. I think Joe knows what I'm getting at right now. Joe, do you know what I'm getting at, Joe?
Not yet.
George A. Romero's
Martin.
Oh.
my
Martin.
favorite vampire
Oh
film
shit! I
of
forgot
all-
about that.
Why?
One. Yes.
Why? Because there hasn't been any other film like it
Done this
since,
way.
and there hasn't been anything like it before it. It's its own entity. Imagine a kid, right? who thinks he's a vampire. He's raised to believe he's a vampire. But is he a vampire? Even George Romero never said, was he or was he not?
Or not, yeah.
He walked around with fucking needles in his fucking bag and just seduced women. He didn't seduce them. He was a fucking dork. Let's be real, bro. He fucking drugged them and had sex with them, and then he killed them with razor blades and drained their blood. But he wasn't a bad guy though. He just had this thing where imagine
he was fulfilling.
It was like a drug addiction.
Yes,
like a serial killer.
It was psychological.
Where like, oh my god, I can't kill nobody. Okay, but
he had to do this.
He got shakes.
Yes.
He, oh my god, I got it. So when he went to live with his cousin, he told him, and he knows, I know you, Martin. I know you, Martin. Nosferatu, Nosferatu. And Martin's like, that ain't real. That shit, that's magic. He took garlic, ate it, threw it in his fucking face, had the cross. But Martin said he was a vampire. He needed to kill people and drink their blood. But the fact that his uncle said, if you're gonna live with me, you're not gonna feed on nobody in this town. And Martin, he abided by those rules. Why? 'Cause he's not a bad guy. He's not going around killing people. Yes. So Martin was like, okay, but he started getting shaky like a drug addict. Like, oh my god, I need blood. So he went out of town and started bringing, killing people.
You always go out of town. Don't get somebody in your town.
Yes,
and get caught.
No, exactly.
And that's not a confession.
That's the best part about it. The rules that Martin had, he had a set of like Dexter. If you want to get more,
right. Yeah, yes.
How he had rules not to get caught. Martin had those rules, but he got so like he broke his own rules in a sense. But his demise came for a crime he did not commit. He did not kill the one person that he was accused of killing, and that led to his demise. And the fact that Romero made this fucking movie on like a shoestring budget, Tom Savini was a character in this movie. That was his first movie. Tom Savini was, you know what I'm saying?
That's I did see that.
and the actor who played Martin is a Romero staple, John Amplis. He was the fake Puerto Rican in Dawn of the Dead, Martinez.
That was so fucking horrible.
He was the zombie in Creepshow who played It's Father's Day.
Where's my cake?
Where's my cake? He was also he was the Dr. Fisher in Day of the Dead as well. Oh man, he was also in Night Riders as the mime. If you're a Romero fan, you know what I'm talking about. But Martin it's a 70s film. This film, like GR, we filmed movies in people's houses, This was filmed in one of Romero's friends, the sound guy, his grandmother's house. So everything in that apartment was authentic. There's no set design. That's what it was. The parade scene, like I mentioned in my video, Horror Film Drive-In Theater, cheap plug. That was a real parade that just happened to be walking down the street. And Romero was like, get the cameras, John Amplis, get dressed, walk down, let's film it. They put that in the movie. Just like Dawn of the Dead with the army scenes, that wasn't actors, that was a real army that they just said, fuck it, let's just shoot for free.
Oh, that army scene was...
Yeah, so this movie, I love everything about it. I love more the backstory of the making of it. I find that more intriguing than the movie itself. And the character himself is so sympathetic that even though he kills people, but you feel sympathetic towards him. And the music, the aesthetic of the 70s, bro. This is a quintessential vampire movie. It's original. Has it been done before? Nope. Has it been done since? That's why Martin and nobody's seen it. Every time I bring it up, huh?
Think of Martin Lawrence, man.
I guarantee you, out of all four of us here, as much as I praise it,
I have not seen it. I will admit, no. And it's on my list. I put it on my list to watch. We have so many movies to watch because everybody brings up. But
listen,
I can admit, I have not seen. Did you guys see Martin?
No one has.
Radar?
I did a long time ago, so I could not.
You got one.
You got one. If there's one person that I know Jared is.
See Martin.
Oh,
guys,
all right,
watch it. Don't forget that I said it, because whenever I say stuff, you guys nobody watches my shit anyway.
Oh,
that's true. All right, Joe sometimes, but it's true. It's true. You know it's true.
All right, but the movies you bring up, like.
And when you tell me to watch something, I watch it.
Well, you.
But when
my
I
shit.
say
You
it,
edit my shit. So you
eh.
No, I put Martin. Like literally, Martin is on my list.
But why?
I do.
But
wanna
I
see
did
it.
more like 5 months ago. You just haven't seen it yet.
There's a lot of movies that bad.
But this is Martin, bro. If I tell you, trust me.
All right.
Trust me, it's good.
Joe, you should take a shot for that.
I don't have a shot, but I'll take a
I'm just
swig.
saying because you say
He's
you
on
don't
his
really
knees.
watch.
He's begging, man.
I'm done. Go ahead. Next question.
All right. Well, I mean,
Hold on.
well,
Before
actually,
we get the fourth.
Yeah, what's
corner-
up? Do you know what
Friday night is the number
Colepool's
one.
talking about?
What? I didn't get. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get to
Yeah.
that. Oh, good night, Angel. I'm sorry. You must be going by now. I missed that.
I said goodbye to her, so.
Okay.
No,
I know she
Colepool
had
asked
a-
a
Oh, her
question.
birthday.
I'm not
Her
sure
birthday
that.
weekend? All right, let me get to Colepool. Not sure if a movie or a book, but when younger had like a. Okay, some he changed, some he didn't.
I don't know what that.
What
is.
year was that? That could be anything.
Harem.
Oh, she put something else afterwards. I don't know.
I got it. Was highly sexed, but good.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man, highly sexed.
Yes, there's so
I don't
many.
know.
I mean, what? Colepool, around roughly what year, so we could narrow it down.
Yeah.
I'm sure one of us could figure this out.
Well, since everybody threw out some extra ones and nobody followed what I said.
Bro, we gave our number one.
Hold on,
I know
Lexi-
everybody
hold
threw
on.
it. Everybody
talk
threw
about
it.
one
Come
film.
on,
Hold on,
everybody-
hold on.
no.
Before you mention that one, Lexi's been throwing Interview with the Vampire like crazy tonight. You
No,
guys
I
wanna
mean,
talk about
so
that
here's the
one?
thing. All right, so here's my thing.
Yeah, we can.
I read Interview with the Vampire. I actually read up until the 4th book in the series. So, unfortunately, Tom Cruise used his power and changed a lot of the aspects of the book into the movie, which changed the projection of the movie. So, I have not seen AMC's version of Interview with the.
I don't like
the book's better.
version.
Kidding, I'm
changed
kidding.
the whole-
I thought you were gonna say I was
I'm
reading.
kidding.
I haven't seen AMC's version of
They changed the
Interview
whole
with the
Nah,
storyline.
I would
The
not
whole
watch
storyline
that.
has changed.
Nah, I
They-
refuse to watch that.
Oh, AMC's.
Yeah.
They changed the whole
Alright.
storyline. The whole
But the thing
storyline.
is, but Tom Cruise uses power to change Interview with the Vampire.
When you said
It
his
should've been-
powers, I thought you meant within like his
Yeah, it was
character's
his
powers.
vampire.
Oh no, it's Hollywood power.
You meant his
It's
political
Hollywood.
powers.
His
Political.
political Hollywood power, like basically.
I didn't know
not-
that though. I didn't know
not
that. I
playing the
never
character
read the
gay.
Anne Rice book.
Well, right. So not playing the character gay. So.
Oh, he's supposed to be gay.
He's supposed to be gay.
Yeah, and
he
the
fell
AMC one, they show the relationship between.
The AMC
That-
version, he's gay, right?
Yeah, but
Yes.
they changed the whole
Grey
story.
Worm, right? Joe,
Worm,
GR. Grey
But
Worm.
the
fucking
in
hate that
Interview
shit.
with the Vampire, Lestat and Louis loved each other.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Why the toxic relationship was the way you saw it in the movie. What you guys got eliminated of is the fact that they were in love with each other. Lestat loved him, but that was probably Lestat's first love because he got turned by Antonio Banderas' character.
Oh my god, what the hell was that guy's name? Because he was in the Queen of the Damned. It was the same
Oh,
character.
Jose Lopez, that was his name.
Jose Lopez.
No, it was not.
No,
But-
I'm sorry, man. Tom Cruise ain't my type, man. Sorry.
But the thing is,
Louise
Interview with the
was.
Vampire, like what it suffered was letting somebody
short
else
for you?
take control of the narrative of the
Ego.
movie.
Armand.
Armand, yes.
Ah,
Armand.
my man.
Armand.
It took me. I had to look it up. I was like, I don't know this. Is...
That's all right.
No,
I
the
look shit up
the
all the
problem
time.
with the AMC one, they changed the whole storyline. too
80s,
much.
okay, 80s.
And I don't like throwing out this conversation, but they made it too woke and it kind of
And yes, it's. But
kind of killed it for me.
before we wrap up, since everybody jumped off on their own, The Lost Boys is another one. Of my
I'm
favorite
surprised JR didn't bring that up, bro.
Well, no, that
like
was going to
Lost
be my
Boys.
number one pick.
you want to know something funny about that? Pluto TV. Once again, fuck you, Pluto TV. I started watching The Lost Boys, right? I was like, I'll be honest, I haven't seen that film, right?
What?
I told you this before. I saw
Whoa.
it.
Look at Radar.
Listen, I've admitted when
Oh my God, what the heck?
listen, I seen it when I was younger, beats and pieces, but as an adult, I never sat back and watched it. I was like, you know what? For
Why?
this stream, I promised my brothers I'm gonna watch it. I put it on Pluto TV. I smoked a bowl, right?
On your PlayStation, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
it
before the
doesn't work.
Fire Stick. Listen,
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Listen, I played it. I'm like, oh my god, it's here. I could watch it. I started watching it, right? It got what's that song, Gio, in the beginning? How's it go?
Thou shalt
Thou
not.
shalt-
kill.
I'm like,
Great
I-
introduction. Great.
I'm like, yes. I'm like,
yeah.
yes. I remember this. Yes, they go to during the midway. They go to the. I remember.
Yeah.
Like I said, I see the movie younger in parts, but I never sat down as an adult. And, you know what I'm saying? So, I was like, wow, okay, I'm gonna love this. I saw I saw fucking what's the guy's name? I forgot who was in this movie. The guy from Bill and Ted.
Keep yourself. Oh wait.
No, from Bill and Ted. Ted. No, Bill's character.
Oh yeah.
Alex
Winter.
Oh
Alex Winter.
yeah, he was.
I-
He was in the-
I saw Alex Winter, like, oh, I forgot Alex Winter was in this. So I'm like, and then when they turn into and for the whole time, the whole intro, you got the whole camera going through the
POV.
town.
But you're seeing the view of them
That's-
flying in.
Yes, but you didn't know that. But when they attacked the guard, I'm like, the view we were watching was the fucking
Thank you.
vampires.
Thank you.
Excellent.
That's why that would have been my number one. Honestly.
Wait,
But
did
let
you
me
just
finish.
say excellent?
Excellent. Yeah. I fucking love this
Righteous.
guy. Listen, so I'm like, oh my god, this. And then when he grabbed the guy, they didn't show no gore. They didn't show the
No.
vampires. All you saw was the
Brilliant.
POV and the security guy's reaction, and him getting lifted off, and the sound design. I'm like, I'm gonna love this. And then, doom doom, people are strange when they are
They're
strangers.
strangers,
I'm like,
yes.
oh yes, I forgot.
Yeah,
yes.
great
Yes,
fucking
and
song.
then when it starts showing the people, walking around, it fucking froze. I'm like, oh, my fucking internet, whatever. I rebooted it,
Alright.
went back, played it again because I want to see the whole opening again. Because the opening was fucking excellent. Like I said, I smoked a bowl. I was fucking nice, bro. And it got to the same part and it froze again. The same part. So I would go back. I rewinded it 10 seconds. Okay, it rewinded it fine. It got to the same part. It froze again.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
okay,
that PlayStation.
fuck Pluto
That Fire-
TV. yo.
That Fire Stick will help you.
Fire
So I
Stick,
couldn't see
man.
Lost Boys. Because
Oh, no,
of-
I know, I-
PlayStation, man. Fire stick, man.
Jared, I literally shipped him a Fire Stick.
You got me,
I was so mad with him with the movie. I'm like, what's your fucking? Actually, what worked out was that day I was being offered half off on Fire Stick, and I'm like, what are you watching your shows on? He's like, PlayStation. What's your address?
Well, I never
I
had a
ordered-
problem. That's why. Only Pluto TV.
And again, I ordered him a Fire Stick, shipped it to him because I'm like, you have got to watch because JR. That's why he didn't pull up Fright Night.
That's why I couldn't watch
your
Friday Night.
PlayStation now, yeah.
But I
Yeah,
seen
there-
Friday
there
Night
must-
a million
I
times
know you
before.
have. I know you
That's
have,
why I
but,
didn't need to.
But I think there was some limitations on the PlayStation. So I'm like, yeah, fuck that shit.
No,
I
Lo-
like it.
I'm-
Wild.
Lost Boys is a great
no spoilers.
vampire
No spoilers. No
film.
spoilers.
It is such a great film. The score is amazing.
It's
Yeah.
original.
It
It's
has a
original.
very
It's
great
teenager.
storyline, and the grandfather is freaking the man.
Once I,
It
yeah.
went to the end, but the
I'm gonna watch it
grandfather
because I'm gonna go back and watch it because what
I'll
the
tell you
little
what,
I
you watch
saw,
it, and I think we should.
I was
review
like,
it,
wow,
because
I
Lost
think-
Boys is
It's an awesome
is a
one.
classic cult that
hold on,
Yeah.
Joe
People
never gave us
love
number
Lost
one.
Okay,
Boys.
but I do have one last one, which we talked about. 30 Days of Night.
But what was the number one, Joe?
My number one, let the right one in.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
what's the
right
right one?
one.
not
but-
bad, bro.
30 Days of Night was going to be my number one. Because as you said, the jaws, teeth, it was different. We all of us said throughout here that it needs to be different.
That one scene, the overhead shot of Barlow getting
Attacking everybody.
eviscerated by the fucking vampires. Was
Yes.
dope.
I mean,
yeah.
that's the whole thing. Like we need to have original content for a vampire movie.
You guys can hear me good,
with the
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop with the
I'm tipsy as fuck, though,
romanticizing.
I'll tell you right now.
Huh?
I'm tipsy.
We're
About to just.
Classic J.
good.
Yeah, take another
We're,
shot, Jay.
we're,
Come on, man.
we're almost
What?
done. We're almost done.
Come on, we
No,
all
no,
take
hold
a
on.
shot.
Before we're done, I got a question for you.
Well, I'm not done.
No, I said before we're done, I got a question.
He said
for you.
he did say before. He did say before.
As you said before. Are you tipsy?
But I'm saying like
He's
we
so-
need to stop. We need to stop romanticizing. Show original stories to vampires. Let the right one in.
Let the right one in.
Near dark.
Martin.
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 We
Original as
need to
fuck.
have original
Force.
stuff.
Life
because-
Force.
Life
Oh my
Force.
God.
We don't need any more like Dracula stories. We all know
No.
Draculas. I mean, it's ad nauseum at this point. It needs to be original. So when we all brought up the stuff that we loved, Life Force.
What's that Hammer film, the vampire film with a circus? Radar might know. It had the actor who played David Prowse, who played Darth Vader, was like the strong man in it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, I saw that not too long ago. I forgot the name of it.
I love
Okay,
Hammer.
Radar. You call
I think
Radar.
Peter Cushing was in it. Huh?
You caught Radar off guard.
I
It's
know.
old.
I haven't.
It's 70s.
I
It's
love
a 70s Hammer film. It had a circus in it. They came to town, and in the circus, those vampires would feed on the town.
That's actually a good concept.
Look, man, you had
It's
me.
really
at
good
Hammer.
movie.
That's all you had to say.
It's a Hammer
That's the
film.
thing.
It's a
Yeah,
Hammer
it's,
film.
Like,
it.
Because they brought in Peter Cushing as a vampire expert, and he was.
That's all I need to hear.
All
Right
right, Joe, let me tell
Hold on, before we wrap up, last minute thoughts. Junior's ready to go.
Gotcha.
No, all right, so we have all these like vampire series. Now, for you guys, what's the one vampire series, excluding True Blood, that you think kind of helped the whole vampire genre? Like for me, I love the show The Strain. I don't know if you guys watched The Strain.
Strain was awesome.
No, it did not.
You watched The
Strain
Strain?
was based on the Strain.
That was,
watch The Strain.
that was FX show. At that time, I wasn't watching TV.
No, you gotta watch it. I think
I'll-
you would perfectly love
Yeah, you would love the Strain.
the concept of it. I mean,
Strain's
so
awesome.
what
I
series?
seen
do you
I
think
seen
is-
the way the vampires look. They look pretty gnarly. I know that.
No, they
No,
look like the same
story-
vampires as Blade 2.
Yeah, the story is
Okay.
great in that
Dude,
one.
Blade 2. Come on,
Blade 2 is
Scud.
fucking awesome.
Come on, Radar. Who was
Oh,
Scud in
okay,
Blade
actually,
2?
guys, as far as Blade,
Oh man, I can't remember.
wait,
off the top of my
real
head.
quick. As far as Blade, keep an eye out. Comic Horror Show is going to be doing a Blade episode.
That's our next episode, bro.
Next episode, Rick, obviously my co-host, JR, is going to be joining us on this one.
JR's gonna make his comic book horror show debut.
Debut on the movie that put MCU
On the map.
on the map.
No. No. It saved Marvel.
Yes.
Let's be real. It saved that company.
Yes. So that's coming up. Watch out. Comic Horror Show, Blade. With the three brothers.
All right, so
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end. Let's get off.
what's going on? What happened, Joe? Come on, Joe.
Oh, I was not done. I interrupted him when he was talking about Blade.
No, I asked you guys like, what's the series that you guys like that's based off vampires?
Strange.
You know what I did not like, and it's my least favorite of the series was American Horror Story double feater.
It did a bad job.
Oh yes, the Red Tide. I think it was called. It had
Bad.
Macaulay. No, Edward Furlong. I think was it?
No, it was
Edward
Macaulay Culkin.
Furlong? Macaulay. It was Culkin.
It was Culkin. Yeah, with the old lady. We're not. All right. Yeah, no.
Radar,
What?
did you watch The Strain?
Nah, I watched the first 2 episodes. So
Oh, you
Dude,
gotta
check
check
it
that
out,
out.
check it
That
out.
means he jumped
You would-
off.
you would
Let
like
me
that
see.
one.
I
That's
ain't
up
like
your
it. Look at.
That's up your alley, bro.
I'm under attack.
All right, guys. So thank you for joining us. This was our vampires conversation. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I got my last sip, we are out. Anybody got any last words? Oh, JR's last sip.
No, I'm tipsy, man. I'm good.
All right, guys.
All right,
Watch
Radar.
Life
Radar,
Force.
take us home. Radar, take us home. Radar.
Oh, yeah.
Watch Life Force, everybody.
Thank you.
That's it.
Until next time. Oh, what are we doing next month?
Oh, you want me to say it? Plug it?
Yeah.
So next month we will be celebrating Stephen King's birthday on September 21st as we talk about Stephen King films. How
So-
they transition? Joe, tell them.
Make sure you join us because it's not just that. I read Stephen King books. So hopefully one of these two motherfuckers will pick up a book.
Listen,
But
only book I'm reading right now is Radar's book.
all right, guys. Until next time, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the vampires. Until next time, what do we drink?
Rick, send us off.
We all cheer for big bottles of beer. Ricky Grimes, my man JR, Joe the psychologist, my brother, and Radar DeBoard, brother from another mother. I love that motherfucker. Stay good, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, motherfuckers, Watch horror themed TV. Watch horror movies and stay scared.
Don't let people bite you.
Don't get bit.
It might work though.